off? We're talking about drone. We're talking about the drone story.
Yeah, we haven't told the drone story yet.
I mean, I've told it a million times.
Have you told it
but I haven't
pod?
told it on here. No.
There you go.
So I'm just depressed, but
Not a good story.
So yeah, I've been taking the drone out a lot more lately because it's really pretty around here. Like, it's just nice in Auburn. So I've been taking it out like pretty much like twice a weekend, at least once a weekend. I'll get up in the morning and take it out. So it's been cool, right?
Right.
Well, there's a hike that we take down to the river, and it's a really pretty hike. And I've been wanting to do it in the morning because all the fog sits in this valley where you hike down to the river. And so I want to just like take it out down there. Like, it'd just be really cool. And it was sick. Like, hiking down there, it was awesome because you hike under the fog. Like, you literally, I've never seen anything like it. Like, you hike and you are standing underneath this line of fog that goes through the whole valley, and there's like the river, and you're just under it. And it's super cool. So I hike all the way down there again.
It's like 7 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the sun was like just risen, or like,
Well, I think it was in
rising.
the process of rising.
Yeah, because I think we set our alarms for like 6 something, and we were like, we just got to get down there at a decent hour.
Yeah.
Whatever, not the point. So we hike down there. It's like 2 miles down there, and I take my drone off like normal. I fly it sort of as the river goes through the canyon. I don't know what else to call it. The canal, whatever the fuck. Like, not even that far up. Mm-hmm. Like, it kind of goes like this and kind of cuts back, and then it comes back again. And I flew it up there, and I've flown this thing way farther, way sketchier areas. And so I'm flying it, and then it's like the signal kind of starts getting sketchy, but it was hovering. This is the weird part. And I've flown this thing a bunch of times. If it's starting to get if the signal starts to kind of go in and out while you're flying, that makes total sense, right? Because you're moving farther away. Yeah. As soon as you stop, it should be stagnant with the signal for the most part. Mm-hmm. And it was getting sketchy while it was while it was hovering there. So I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, right? Because I was sitting there taking pictures. Mm-hmm. I was just sitting, moving like this. I wasn't even like flying around. I was just sitting there taking pictures of like this one thing. And then like the signal cuts out and is like, no signal. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And so where I'm standing, there's like other places for me to kind of move around in the area that we are by the river. There's like a little an embankment with like a big ass rock that you can kind of climb up, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I need to get closer to this thing. So I kind of get up on this rock and I get as open as I can and possible. No signal still. And so then I hit, on the remote, there's a come home button. So I hit the come home button because there's still signal to it. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure no matter what, it's you got to fly this thing so fucking far for it to lose the signal on the remote. It's the transmission of the video that isn't the best. Whatever. I don't know how else to explain it. But the remote is usually solid, always solid. So I hit come home and it starts beeping. It's like, come home. But as it's doing that, I'm like running around our little area that we're at trying to get signal, and there's still no signal. And like 5 or 6 minutes goes by, maybe not even that long. And I'm like, okay, I know how much battery I have left.
Yeah, you had like 18 minutes
I had like 18 minutes left of flying. I've never just sat there and hovered for that long. So I probably got like a good 20 minutes or so because the batteries do last a decent amount of time if you're flying around. And to my knowledge, this thing was just floating there, waiting for the signal to come home or waiting for the signal to get it. Whatever. So then I tell Andrea, I'm like, all right, I've got to find this thing. I got to start getting closer to this thing. But in order to do that, we have to go through, by we, I mean both of us eventually, there's not a trail.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to go and find the drone. I'm like, okay. And you climb over the large stack of rocks that I can only see as rocks. Mm-hmm. And then to find out that it's just like bush. It's
literally just like bushes. Like you can't, there's not a trail. So I just start going. I'm like, I need to go towards the drone, like beeline towards the drone, right? And you figure I'm on one side of the river. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I was near the other side of the river when I was flying this thing. So like, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna have to cross the river to get this thing. But let's just let's hope that I get signal, I can just fly it back. Because that was my thing, is I was like, this thing's got to be hovering there. Like, I wasn't near any trees. I know I wasn't. I wasn't that close to any trees when I was like flying and taking pictures. So then, to make a long story short, but it's already a long story, I start getting worried because I'm like getting really close to this thing. Like, I've flown this thing a bunch of times. Like, I know how close I need to be to have a signal. And I'm like, okay, something's wrong, because I'm like not that far away from where I was. And there's still no signal. I still can't see anything on my screen. Like, that's fucked up.
But you have a GPS on your little thing, right?
You have a GPS, but it's not connect. Yeah. Yes. But it's not technically connected. I don't know how it works, but like,
you have a general idea of where it is.
I have a general idea of where it is.
And you're getting close.
Yes. So then eventually I get signal. After, I don't know how long is it? It's probably like half a mile.
Yeah, it
of
was
like
pretty
running
far.
up this riverbank, like climbing over rocks. I got fucking cut up by thorns.
Yeah.
Like it was, again, unpaved terrain. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, we're just running on this riverbank with bushes, sand, and just fucking going for it, right? And I'm doing this with one hand because I'm holding the remote, and the remote is like, it's pretty big because it's got my phone connected to it with the screen. So I'm like running with one hand, trying just whatever. And then I finally get signal of the bird's eye view of my drone in a tree. Like, the picture of my drone sitting in a tree, just in a tree.
Yeah.
Like, wherever. And then my heart just sinks, and I'm like, fuck me. Like, because I know where it's at. It's across the river, because I finally get to a point where I'm like, okay, it's like across the river, straight across, somewhere in a tree over there. And it was 50 degrees outside, which means the water's like 20 or I don't know, way colder. I don't fucking know. It was cold as fuck. But I had full confidence in myself. Like, I'm going to get in this river. I'm going to swim across. I'm going to get this fucking drone.
And you
like,
called me and told me that.
Yep. I called you because I told you I was just going to take off and go. I didn't know how far I was going to have to go.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need you to come up here so I could get across this river. And if I die, like, you can watch me die then. Or like, I don't know. Like, I just need somebody else here.
Yeah. So I was standing there waiting with all the drone equipment, like the backpack, the launch pad, and everything for you.
Yes,
and
you
I
had
was
to pack that up.
Yeah. So I was calling your name. I was like, Tyler. And you weren't responding to me because you had been gone for like quite a minute. And then I see my phone. You had called me. So I call you back. And you're like, okay, so climb over the rock and you're going to see a lot of bush and you're just going to have to go through that. You're like, it's going to be a little sketchy for a minute. Like, you're just going to be running through bushes. And I remember at one point I pack everything up. I climb over the rock initially and I'm like it's literally just this thick bush. So I call you back and I'm like, I have to run through this
You're
bush.
like, where do I go? I'm like,
yeah. And
run,
you're like,
I'm literally like, just follow the riverbank. You just go straight. You just got to go.
Yeah,
like,
you were like, just go straight. You're going to walk across a river, like right away, like a little stream, like right away. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm clearly in the right spot because here's the stream. So I like hop over it. And at another point, I remember calling you or you calling me and being like, where are you at? You're taking forever because I'm slow. And me looking around and being like, well, there's a red shirt over here leaning on a rock and there's a tent over here, and just like making a connection in my mind that some homeless person might be living here. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep running. Any spot that was like straight, I just ran across, and we were literally climbing on rocks. Like, it wasn't an easy run over to this spot. And then I made it over to you and you were like, I'm going to go swim in this. I'm like, bitch, no, you're not. You're not going to swim in this. It was so cold.
So I took off my socks and my shoes and I put both my feet in, and I was like, there's no way in fuck I'm gonna be able to do this. Like, I didn't know what would happen. Like, I don't think I would have got hypothermia, and whatever. Like, that
was cold.
That's super dramatic. I was like, this is just too unpredictable right now. Like, I just don't know how this is gonna go right now. Like, even though I'm full of adrenaline right now, because as I'm sitting there, my drone still has a battery. Like, I still got battery life. I still can see, like, from my the drone's camera, like, where this thing is, and I got a live connection of where this thing is. Like, if I could just get across the river, like, I can at least get close to it.
And you're sitting there like telling me all this, and you're like, I just need to get across the river. There's a rock like right here, and then there's a rock directly in the middle, so I can make it to this rock, and then I can make it to this rock, and then I can just swim all the way across with my backpack and holding it up in the air. And then when I get across, I'm gonna find the drone. And I look right across the riverbank, and it's all fucking trees.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna just like, find it?
Yeah, I know. It was, yeah. So, story's not done. So, we give up. And then we go back. And of course, going back is fucking difficult because when I went, I just started sprinting. I didn't like take any sort of like what direction I am, like what like path was the easiest way. I just started going. And so to get back,
we decided that it would be smart to try and climb up the side of the hill.
Yeah, well, because when you hike in, we clearly hike in right above where we were. It's just you kind of hike when you get there. You got to hike in and then like kind of come down. So we're like, oh, what if we just go straight up and cut the whole like fucking 3/4 of a mile of the trip and see if we can get that. Well, of course we don't find it because we're stupid, or I'm stupid. I convinced you to do it, and we didn't fucking find what we were looking for.
I felt like I stupidly just agreed. I was like, yeah, I'll climb up this, and you're like, you can stay back, and I was like, no, I'll just keep climbing.
Yeah. So whatever. We make it back to the car. We get home. And pretty much just lost. Like, I'm just very depressed and sad because, like, I've taken really good fucking care of this drone. Like, I bought a nice backpack for it. I take really good care of it. Like, I really like it. And I've had it for a couple years, and it's been great. And the fact that this thing... So what I think had happened was while it was floating there and I hit come home, because based on the map, right, because as it flew into the tree, it was still alive, like it still tracked. I still had a live track of like where it went. You could see my path of flight. It was like floating there and then like just a beeline back to where we were at, and then the beeline just stopped. So I'm assuming I hit come home, it got the signal, and then it just clipped a tree on the way back, even though it's supposed to have forward sensing motion sensors or whatever. I don't know, maybe a branch was too thin and it didn't see it. Like, that's the frustrating part because it's just, yeah. So then I talked to my dad on the phone like the next weekend.
Well, first you talked to my dad.
Yes. Yeah. I talked to your dad and he was like, you got to go get it. You just got to get across the river. I was like, yeah, I know. It's just like, it's a whole thing. Like, yeah, I was very torn on giving up because I was really frustrated that like, it was right across the river, and I just gotta know. I gotta know if it's broken. I gotta know if I can get to it. I just gotta know. Like, I can't just give up. Like, buying a new drone was really fucking expensive. Like, and I can't just buy a new one not knowing that I didn't fully try, right? That was my whole thing. Like, I could live with myself if I tried, and we didn't get it. Like, I could live with myself, but I can't. Our first attempt... the day I lost the drone was like not good enough for me. Yeah. I knew that in the back of my head, but I also knew that it was kind of stupid and crazy to think that like I'm able to get across this river. Like, and I'm not going to oversell the river. Like, there's not like rapids where we were trying to cross or anything like that. Like, it looked pretty calm.
It did look pretty calm.
Right? Like, that day, it looked like this was manageable. Like, if I could just get in the water and just be cold for like 2 minutes, I could get across the river just fine. Like, yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be fucking cold. I'm going to hate it. But like, as soon as I get across the river, like, I'm going to feel so much better about finding the drone. Yeah. Obviously.
And my dad was just like giving you shit about not finding it and being like, oh, I have like a midi swimsuit or wetsuit that you can borrow. Yeah. And so you were getting that planted in your mind. And I'm over here like, no, you're not doing it. Like,
yeah. Don't do it. Your dad planted the seed of like the wetsuit thing. Yeah. Right. So, and then I talked to my dad later that weekend on the phone. And he was like, no, man, you got to try and go get it. You got to try and get it. He was like replanting the seed in my head, like reinforcing this, like, no, you got to try. You got to go get it. And so I come downstairs after the phone and I was like, Andrea, we're trying to get the drone this weekend.
This week.
Correct. Yeah. So
I had that day, on that week, I had to go into work at 5 a.m. So I was getting out early. So I was like, oh, we can just go on this day since I'm already getting out early. Yeah. So we came home around like 2 o'clock, packed everything up, and went to the trail. And
I got the wetsuit. You picked up the wetsuit from your dad.
I did pick up the wetsuit.
But it was only like a quarter wetsuit. Yeah. It wasn't a full one. It was only like
short sleeves and shorts. Yeah. Long shorts.
Which is better than nothing. So we packed that up, I'm all excited. I'm like, cool, this is my like redemption moment. Like, we're gonna hike down there. It's gonna fucking suck, but I'm gonna get in this fucking water, and it's gonna be cold as shit, and I'm gonna get my goddamn drone. Whether or not it's working or not, that's another thing. It's like, I could get over there, and it could be totally fucked. Like, it could be all fucked up. I have no idea, but I wanted to get it. So we hiked down there again.
Round 2, let's go.
And this is not an easy hike.
No.
It's not easy. This is a tough hike. So we hiked down there again. I put on the wetsuit, and I think my plan was to have like a trash bag, right? That I was gonna put my socks and shoes in.
Yeah.
And just like tie off the trash bag so no water got in it. So that way I could get across, and at least and a towel. I was gonna bring a towel. Oh, and my backpack. I was gonna bring because I have my drone backpack.
Packing like everything.
Yeah, I was packing basically everything. So when I got across, I'm like, okay, like getting across, let's say, is a quarter of the battle. Finding the drone is the other quarter. Getting across back with the drone not wet, like that's a whole. That's like, I haven't even really processed that. I was just like, go and get the drone. I could figure out how to get across later. But like as I was down there, or like as on the hike down there, I was like, I got to make sure I can get this thing back across like legit. And so again, the plan was to have a giant trash bag, like one of the black ones, the industrial size one, whatever the fuck, with my backpack, socks and shoes, and a towel. So I was going to get across, right? Well, that was really fucking heavy and really difficult. And also, as I got in the water, it was so fucking cold. Like, it was so fucking cold. Like, it was cold as shit. But I had the wetsuit on, so that helped my core, right? That actually did help. Like, that wasn't bullshit. And I kind of got over it. Like, once I got in and like got kind of like my whole body wet, I was like, all right, cool. I can deal with the cold. The current was pretty strong. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to swim with one arm and also hold this trash bag. But like the rocks also, so like the way the river was, the spot that we were at, there was like a rock. I could basically like get from rock to rock to rock and get to the middle of the river without actually having to like full on like be in the water without something to grab onto, right? Like that was sort of the idea, which was probably our best chance, my best chance at getting it, was taking this route. And so I get in the water, and I'm like, I can't even grab onto the rocks because there's so much goddamn algae on the rocks. They're so slippery. I couldn't put my feet. I couldn't grab onto them with my hands under the water. I could only grab onto the top. And even then they were cold. They were so cold. Like I couldn't feel my hands. And I got out to like the second rock, and I was like, okay, I got to come back, and I got to take the backpack out, and I got to take everything else out.
And I think you put your shoes on at that point.
Yes, and I was like, and because you suggested, you're like, you can try putting your shoes on. The shoes that I hike down there with, try putting those on. I was like, well, I'm fucking here. Like this is my last shot. This was my last shot at like getting at least a grip on like the rocks, the big rocks. But like I couldn't touch the river bed. I couldn't stand. Like as soon as I got in, like one step in, basically I couldn't touch the bottom at all. So it was purely up to like my strength of swimming and whatever. And then as soon as I got to the second rock, the current that day was
strong.
It was fucking moving.
Yeah, you could see it in the video.
Like I couldn't, when I was sitting on the second rock, I even was like, okay, let's just try, and let me just try and like not doggy paddle. Let me just try and like at least stay stationary in this one spot, and I couldn't even do it. Like I couldn't even fight the current for like half a second. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it even. I'm not gonna be able to make it across the river in this. And so we hiked all the way down there again for nothing, and I didn't get my drone back.
And we had a
very long story short. Sorry, that was a really long-winded story, but I didn't get my drone. But that was my try. I feel good about me. I got in the fucking water. I dragged your ass down there.
Freezing ass water twice.
It was cold as fuck, and I got my feet wet, my shoes wet, and I had to hike back with heavy ass wet shoes. And on the way back, there's sand, so the sand is sticking to all of my. It was just fucking miserable, man.
Yeah.
And although I felt, and I still feel pretty defeated, I feel much better about myself that I did try.
And you gotta buy a new drone.
That we hiked 10 miles round trip for this fucking drone. basically.
It's okay. We're going to hike more and get it in summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get it in summer. I'm putting this in a shadow box, and we're going to have it in our house for life.
I'm totally down to get in the water during summer.
Yeah.
Hike down there during the summer when it's hot, and it'll feel good being in the river and swim across the river. I was thinking an inner tube.
Oh,
get an inner tube and then blow it up when we get down there.
Bloop.
Man, yeah, that thing flying into the fucking tree just ruined my goddamn day. And buying a new drone again is not cheap, but I got a new one. It came a couple days ago, and I haven't taken it out yet. I was gonna take it out today just to try it, but
70% chance of rain.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
After flying it into a tree.
After flying it into an enchanted forest, I figured like maybe I should just play it safe and not take it out when it might rain. So that's the drone story, infamous drone story.
Yeah,
it was so stupid,
so dumb.
Yeah, I can't believe I got in the water.
It's funny because the day that you were taking it out too, you were like, "Damn, this is gonna be hard to land this."
Yeah, I did say that because every other time I've taken it out. It's like you usually, I don't know, rule of thumb, I guess, for just like logic, I guess, when you're flying one of those things is like, if you're flying it somewhere and you're like, cool, I need to land it, like, just make it go straight up in the fucking air. Just make it go way up in the air and then have it come back. The only problem was there was a bunch of fog. Mm-hmm. You can't really fly these things into fog because that's water. And like the water might get in the gears and might get in the thing and might fuck something up. That might be a myth. I don't know. I've convinced myself of it. I haven't really tried it. I don't like to fly it into fog and try it. So I basically would have had to fly this thing back like through. It would have been fine. I would have been able to do it, but it would have been a little sketchier. And then of course where we were at, it's not flat ground. I mean, it's like a embankment beach shore thing. Like it wasn't legit. It was just whatever, but I didn't get that chance. I just flew it into a fucking tree. But I got like two good shots that day, and I still got them because I downloaded them onto my phone. So I'm excited for the new one though. The new one is
way nicer.
So I'll get to drag you out on some more
adventures. I hope I get to run through some bush.
I think just for the bit, I'll never go down there again with the drone. Even though it was really sick. Yeah. It was really fucking cool.
I just remember I got thorns in my ankle.
Dude, I mean, this was like a month ago, and I still have like
the cuts
on my legs from the thorn bushes. Yeah.
And I dropped my new water bottle and it got all destroyed. It'll always have a story though.
Yeah, pretty much. I keep seeing commercials for batteries.
Batteries are like a thing
and I think
right
it's
now.
Really weird.
Yeah. I remember Snacks on the podcast went over batteries as well recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't know if I've ever had a preference of battery. I
remember one year for Christmas.
Who cares?
Yeah, one year for Christmas, my parents always give me the best Christmas gifts. This was like the big gift, the main gift. I got rechargeable Duracell batteries.
Did those things actually work?
Yeah, they actually did.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a scam.
No, they actually
worked. A rechargeable battery. Like, that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, they actually worked.
Huh.
Yeah, they were green compared to all the other, like, black and brown ones, if I'm remembering the brand correctly, colors.
I just don't... It's like...
I mean, it's like the same rechargeable as your drone battery. It's like the same thing.
I guess, but, like... You see like a Duracell commercial, and it's like, okay, but it's like a fucking battery. Like this is weird. It's almost like a cologne commercial. It's like, okay, like what do I do with this information? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
It's like, what do I do with I don't know. Oh, Energizer's better. Why? Well, because it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm putting it in my remote for my TV. Like, I'm not trying to have a windmill outside my house that's going to power my house. I don't know. I just don't know. Like,
I don't know.
Is there really a battle between brands of? I think it's just whatever's available and whatever's cheaper.
That's what it's always been.
But you can't buy like generic brand.
No, I can't go to the Dollar Tree and buy some batteries.
Definitely don't do that.
No,
don't do that. So it's either Duracell, Energizer, or Kirkland.
Yeah,
Kirkland brand batteries are fine, but it's almost it's the same thing with like gas. Like, oh, Chevron's better.
Oh my God.
It's like, wow, okay, because I care about that. Like, I really am. I care a lot about Chevron versus 76 versus Shell. Like,
versus Arco versus Safeway versus Costco.
like, oh, well, the gas isn't as good. Like,
I guess if you have like a really nice car, it might be a little different. But for all the like cars we've driven.
Speaking of cars.
Oh God.
Add this to my list of conspiracy theories.
What is it?
Like 95% of cars, you can't turn on your defroster in the front and your face blower.
Oh my gosh. Okay, actually in my car, I was just having the same issue because I could either just turn on the defroster only or the defroster and your feet. And then it's only the section in between that and I can't have a face blower.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Actually,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say personal preference. I like to have everything on my feet. I don't like to have air blowing in my face. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, there's cars that are like 2022 cars that don't have it. It's like only, it's this just the generic, like every fucking car is like that. Not all of them. Fords have them. Some Fords have the option for you to choose, like it's like literally like a touch screen or like a button. You can pick which ones you want. Anybody out there, if you're driving right now, whatever you're fucking doing, go in your car, see if you can put on your defrosters, and if you can put on the face blowers at the same time. I guarantee you 95% of you guys won't be able to, because I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I would want the face and the defroster at the same time, but I feel like I do. I feel like I find myself in that position a lot in the winter where I'm like, well, yeah, I want the defroster on, but now my face is cold. When really the defroster kind of hits your face, but not really.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Maybe that's the whole reasoning. They think that the defroster like hits your face.
Gets your face, but it
like,
but
you
it
have to put
doesn't.
it down on your feet.
But it doesn't.
Or maybe it has to go down to your feet because it has to like warm up the whole front of the car.
And how come every time you put the defroster on, it immediately goes to the highest
setting?
Yeah, you put the defroster on, it's like you're like, I had it on 2, now it's on 7. This is stupid. Also, the other thing, auto. What is auto AC temperature control?
I have no
idea. Does
idea.
anybody
That's
use
too
that?
fancy
I've
for me.
never used that, ever. What the fuck is auto? What does it do?
I don't know. It just automatically guesses what the temperature is perfect for you.
I'm assuming you do auto, and then you set it to like 75, and it makes sure the car is 75. But you can't like adjust the fan speed or something. But like the second you change the fan speed, it takes it off auto. Try it. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Same with like the air circulator thing. Like every car's got like turn it on or off.
You're like, what the fuck does it do?
Like
you
why is it like all I know
when
when to turn it on is when something smells bad outside. Other than that, like I don't know what when's like the proper time to use it.
Yeah.
We're not taught these things.
No, not at all. We don't get a rundown of a car. We just like get in it and drive.
It's the same thing like universal cup holder sizes.
Oh yeah.
Like it's so weird that all the cup holders are all pretty much the same size. Is there like is there like a law like cup holders have to be this size?
I have no clue.
There can't be, but they're all the same size. Like all of our cups for the most part fit in all of the cup holders. Like if you get a Starbucks or something, you get some sort of soft drink.
McDonald's.
I don't know why I said soft drink. Why did I say that? A soda?
How old are you?
Fucking 66. They're all going to fit in every cup holder that you're in. Every car is going to be able to fit it. How does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense. How did they manufacture that?
I don't know.
I actually have I have the regular standard cup holders, and then in my car I have the back mug size. Like how did they know that like one. Everyone was going to have this, and it has a cutout for the handle too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do all my mugs fit in this size? Like, is it just like, are mugs universal? Like, I don't understand.
It's weird. Yeah, there's like a size. But you know what's changed that now is Hydro Flasks.
Ooh, there you go.
Hydro Flasks have changed that because if you get the big one, they're too big. You can't fit them anywhere.
I can fit them in my mug.
But now, But yeah, what are they gonna make a cup holder size like this fucking big and like make it adjustable? Because some cars have that too, where like you can have like a little insert and have it be
Yeah,
smaller
but those
or
always
bigger.
break.
Yeah, they're
those
not
always
good.
break. My parents had that in one of their cars, and it just broke right away.
You know what else I thought about too is like outlets. Like when did whoever said like, okay, outlets have to be this size and have this much voltage, no matter fucking what, was like a genius. Whoever the first person to do that was a genius. Like it doesn't like yes, it makes sense. Like I could plug something in here, and I could fly to Maine, and I could plug something into the wall there, and it's the same thing. How does that work?
Also, how did they decide that we're going to be like, okay, we can have it to where it could like plug in 2 prongs, but it could also plug in 3 prongs? Like,
I don't know anything about that.
But it's also going to work well with 2 prongs. Like, what the fuck? And then when you go to another country and you just have to get an outlet converter, it conveniently just plugs into like.
Yeah, I know.
What?
All comes back to batteries, man. Do batteries work internationally? If you bought batteries here, and
if I
you
bought
went
AAA batteries here,
and you had to put AAA batteries in a thing over there, like, is their AAA different than our AAA? Because they're on the metric system? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's wild, man.
Who decided this?
I don't know.
How
that's like cell phones. Like,
yeah.
When you go to a different country in cell phones, you have to like activate the roaming thing, or like, oh, it like knows you're in a new country, which I understand. We're all on a satellite, we're all on a fucking grid anyway. But it's like, why does it matter? Yeah. Doesn't it all go to space? It's just weird.
It like blows my mind that like humans can somehow just agree that we just have one set standard for things, but like we don't really know how we all agreed on that. Like it was just like we are standardly just going to be using this item for this. Oh, like HDMI cables.
Yeah.
Like that's just going to be the standard.
Or like the size of a grocery bag.
Yeah.
Sizes of grocery bags are like almost always the same fucking size, no matter where you go.
How do we decide that a 6-pack of beer is going to be like a 6-pack of beer?
It's like a 6-pack. You never find
like an
8-pack.
Yeah.
It's either 6 or 12
or 24.
Or you get a 4-pack, but they're the big ones or the tall boys.
Yeah.
It's just the standard.
Why? How did that
happen?
Know. Who decided that for us?
I think the consumers decided. I think that.
How do the consumers decide?
Because they're the ones buying. They're the ones buying it.
But they just buy what's put out in the market. Are they just seeing a trend of like people just buying 6 at a time? And so they're like, okay, let's just sell it. It's all integrated
now because now when the companies sell a 6-pack of beer, they have to order the things to like hold the little caps that hold all the beers together. They only make them in 6. Let's say, oh, well, I want to do an 8-pack of beer. Oh, well, that's going to cost you an extra 5 cents per 8-pack of beer. And the people are going, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, why don't we just sell a 6? And then, we could do a box of 24 and charge $5 less, but it's, more, you know what I mean? Like, we're all in the system. It's the metaverse. I don't know, dude.
It's Facebook.
Yeah, it's all, I blame Mark Zuckerberg. Something else that I don't like, that I've never liked or understood, is getting Christmas-themed gifts for Christmas.
Like when I got
I feel like it happens every year.
Yeah.
It's like you open an ornament for Christmas. And like, so you gave me something that I'm going to use a year from now. Okay, great. Thank you. Or like a Christmas sweater or like a
Christmas mug.
Like a holiday blanket. Mug or like a holiday themed blanket. I don't know, like something, just something dumb. Mm-hmm. What's the point of that? Give it to me on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That seems normal.
That's what my mom
Or
did.
like a couple weeks before Christmas, like, oh, I got you a Christmas thing. Yeah, we got, downstairs right now we got like a Christmas, the glowing gnome thing that's another conversation, but.
Actually, I was just having this whole conversation with my dad because I got my mom, she loves the adult coloring books, so I got her a Christmas-themed coloring book.
Penises and stuff in it?
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. Love that. Penis Christmas tree, penis candy cane. Love it. Great for us. Yeah. My mom loves that. So I bought that for her and I gave it. I was like, oh, I got to stop by after work because I have something to drop off at your house. And I gave it to her early. And my dad was like, why are you giving your mom Christmas gifts early? And I was like, why the fuck would she be coloring Christmas themed things after Christmas? Like, don't you do it to get into the holiday spirit?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, yeah.
It is weird. It seems useless.
Getting Christmas themed things for Christmas is like, yeah, like buying somebody like a Christmas themed thing. I mean, I guess it's common. Like, oh, I got you like a Christmas whatever. But it's like, okay, I get to use this 2 weeks out of the year for it to be appropriate. Mm-hmm. You know? Maybe we're just bad at getting gifts.
Yeah, you're not a good gift giver.
Not really.
Not at all.
I think the best gift I got, one of them, was that one I got for Sam and Emily, the office thing I got for the baby. Uh-huh. I don't know. Some people are really good at giving gifts, though. Some people are good at buying gifts. But, like, I'm also not against gift cards.
Me either. My family is, though. Gift cards and money? No way. That's offensive.
I'm not against it at all.
Me either. I'd prefer it.
Yeah. I guess it depends, though. Sometimes you get, like, a niche gift card. Like, you got a gift card to...
P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, or Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, okay, I got a couple news stories here. We gotta talk about did you send me that? I think I have it.
I think I sent it to you.
Yeah.
1 second.
It was a New York Times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my feet are getting hot. I have to take my socks off.
Great, thank you for the play-by-play.
Hopefully it smells nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
Ow.
I have to subscribe?
Subscribe.
Why don't you eat shit and die?
I didn't have to subscribe to read it. If I remember correctly, there was this man who passed away of cancer who originally was supposed to be executed because he was on death row, but had a failed execution because for your execution, they have to take out like a warrant or some type of like legal document and you have X amount of hours to execute this person. And they were trying to execute him by lethal injection and they didn't meet the hour requirement. So at midnight, they just had to drop all the needles and be like, oh, fuck it. We can't kill this man.
I mean, this is the weirdest story.
Yeah.
Like,
and then in the story, it said that he was like the 4th person to die or to not die because of a failed attempt at lethal injection in the United States.
Didn't he say he suffered brain damage too or something like that?
I don't remember.
No? Okay.
You'd have to pull up the article.
Yeah. Oh, I got to subscribe to the New York Times.
Yeah. So awkward. Anyway.
Yeah. Like mentally, could you imagine like, okay, I'm going to be put to death now, like last remaining moments. And then it gets botched. And then they're like, well, what do we do now?
Also, slightly off topic, when I was in criminal justice, I remember one of the most fascinating like sections I studied was the last meal. And so everybody thinks their last meal is they can just like choose anything, right? No, the last meal depends on the prison you're at. And 1, the budget, and 2, the access to food. So a lot of the times it's just whatever the prison food is. And you get to pick, like we'll have like a menu of like whatever food they offer at the prison and you get to pick that. Or like they could potentially give you a budget if you're at like a nice prison, but you don't just get to pick anything. So I was like, well, that's not exciting. So I was like, I could not have pizza as my last meal.
Yeah.
Like I just have prison food.
I guess the good thing is you have potential to live too. Apparently, you could just have your execution botched,
but only by lethal injection. Like firing squad's still good.
Yeah, I think they should bring back the electric chair.
Ooh, there you go.
They should make this like a public event again. I think that would make things more exciting and make people not want to do things.
Exactly.
Because I think when people commit crimes, there's no shame.
No.
You know what's shameful? Getting put in a fucking arena and having everybody come watch you get stoned to death for your execution. That's shame. People don't like shame.
No, people don't like shame.
Not a good feeling. Humans don't like shame.
Being put in a prison, dude. Some people want to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, the story's so interesting because it's like, okay, so the lethal injection didn't take. Uh-huh. And then they were like, well, what do we do now? But apparently you can only do it on that day. Yeah. Like the court's order, you can only do this on this one day, and they couldn't do it. Yeah. They didn't do it.
So the reason that it didn't take is because he had been a drug user as well as he had cancer. So he had injected his veins with a lot of stuff and all his veins were hardened. So as part of the court order, they couldn't do any of his injections above the waist, so they had to do it all below the waist. So they were trying to do it in the groin because that's where the most prevalent and easy to reach veins are.
Wow.
And they couldn't find a vein because he had been a drug user and he had basically formed scar tissue over all his veins, and so they couldn't inject him. And then now his lawyer, even though he has passed a cancer, his lawyer still has a lawsuit open, which I don't really understand how, like, who
goes to the family, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like, who's the defendant in the case? Like, it's still the dead guy? I'm not quite sure. His lawyer still has a claim open for wrongful death because they didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, I guess I'm just logistically, it kind of makes you question, what's the point of the death penalty then?
Exactly.
Like,
well, most people, especially in California, because we don't observe the death penalty, like, yes, it's still, I don't actually know for sure, but at some point it was still like legal in California. It could not be. I can't confirm that right now. But like, we don't observe it. So even if the death penalty is still legal, like, we don't do it. So what's the point of it? What's the point of us giving somebody death? Like, we're not going to observe it. We haven't killed somebody in years.
Yeah.
Decades.
The idea, I guess, of the death penalty just in general is like, we all understand it, right? You commit a heinous crime and then you get sentenced to death.
Also, the thing with this guy is, remember, we were reading to try to find out what his crime was, and his crime was like he
robbed a bank and like somebody died.
It was a hotel. He robbed a bank, and they couldn't even prove that he was the one who shot the gun. Mm-hmm. But he had previously stolen a gun in Mississippi that day, went to Alabama, robbed like a hotel. The hotel owner died from that gun, a gunshot from the gun that he had stolen. They couldn't prove who had done it, and he had been caught because he stole like $600 from this guy, and he was caught, went to jail, convicted of the crime, and convicted of killing that guy too, even though they couldn't prove it, and then sent to death because of that. And I'm like, that's interesting for the death penalty.
Yeah, like, people have done way worse and not gotten the death penalty.
But this was also in like the 80s that it happened, I believe.
Yeah.
So
I guess it just makes me question, like, maybe not question, just it puts me in like a deep thought spiral of like what that does to your human psyche. Yeah. Knowing that you were supposed to die and then you don't, and then you're alive.
Also, this man is suffering from cancer. Like, they said he was like pretty deep into the cancer at the point that he was about to die. So he's probably like excited to die, not excited, just but like accepted it at this point, and then like lives.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's just such a bizarre.
He lives and he has to go through chemotherapy and go through all that stuff, which is also paid by taxpayers. So,
yeah,
interesting.
How do you feel about the death penalty?
The death penalty, I actually don't know. I've never really like thought about it like thoroughly. I feel like we'd have to do more research, but
like, it's just on the surface. What's your?
I feel like right now, in the way that society is, it's just not really relevant. So even if the death penalty is being like enacted and we are putting people to death, like, we're not publicizing it. So like, what's the point? Because the whole point of the death penalty to begin with is to like basically put terror into other people. And so we're not really
like
publicizing
people committing crimes,
so they don't commit the crimes, to like deter them from committing crimes. So like, what's the death penalty if we're not using it properly? Like, why are we using it?
Yeah, it is. Every case you hear about the death penalty, they've been on death row for 5 years.
They've
been on death row for 5 years. That doesn't count the 3 years of like litigation and the other 2 years of courts and postponement. It's like, okay, now the crimes that this dude committed, or woman, the crimes that this person committed happened like 10 years ago, and now they're going to die. Like, okay, I'm sure that this helps the family, but I guess, like, really, what is the... I don't know. What's the point at that rate, you know? No one... The only people that are, like, still upset about it, to the point... like,
is people involved in the case.
Like, the recency bias of it is gone now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We need to get public executions.
Also, they have all the appeals that you can take. So appeals take years. So it usually takes it can take up to probably 25 to 50 years for somebody to get executed because of all the appeals and all the legal processes that they have to go through. So at this point, it's we're not putting fear in anyone. Nobody's scared of the death penalty. You go to death penalty, you're just going to be chilling.
It's
San Quentin has its own podcast, and that's where all the people on death row are. San Quentin Prison.
San Quentin Prison has their own podcast?
Yeah, they have their own podcast. It's called Ear Hustle.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I listened to it once or twice for school.
Was it good?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Huh.
But interesting.
Yeah.
Think of.
Something about it feels weird. Mm-hmm. But that's not to discount if somebody goes and murder,
No.
Look at a Ted Bundy or Jeffrey
for
Dahmer
sure.
or whatever. People like that.
But still,
I mean, what are they going to... Yeah, they're going to sit in prison for 25 to 50 years.
Yeah.
25, 30 years, whatever it is.
However long their legal process goes through, however long appeals take until they can legally get to the final step of being executed. And then potentially, as we found out, not even get executed. Because once an execution happens, they only have... It's something that the court gives where you only have X amount of hours to do it. So if you don't do it by this time and they're still alive, then they're still alive. Which is why that guy lived and why 3 other people have apparently lived. According to that article.
Yeah, exactly. So they that's the weird part. I don't even know how to explain it. It just gives me a weird vibe.
Because
they're supposed to die. They were supposed to die, and now they're not. And now they're just alive. So it's okay, so then what's the point? If it didn't work and you didn't just kill them on that day with a gun to the head, what's the point of the death penalty?
Yeah.
It has to be by lethal injection.
Yeah,
I'm not. I think right now I'm not pro death penalty. I don't agree with it, but I can get behind a process where it's legal and it should happen if you commit a heinous crime, whatever. But if you're gonna do it and it doesn't fucking work, then what's the goddamn point? Mm-hmm. If it's got less than 100% success rate, then what's the fucking point? It's death. It should work 100% of the time. You should have this figured out. And if you don't, then you shouldn't do it. I think that's the part that's weird to me is you shouldn't be rolling the dice when you're trying to execute somebody via lethal injection. It should be you hit every single time because that's the point of the death penalty.
Yeah. The death penalties, there's 3 or 4 different ways that you can die from the death penalty, and it gets chosen depending on your state, your prison, your crime, all these different other factors. And I don't know, I just find it interesting because the majority of states don't observe the death penalty, so people just sit on death row. And it's
yeah, and
just mainly the states in the South observe it. That's pretty much
yeah, I guess how many
from my studies.
Let's see. I'm gonna Google something. How many people a year die from death row?
Also, the other thing that also really just confuses me is people who can get convicted to 150 years plus life. You're just gonna die in prison.
Pretty much.
Life is fine. Just say life.
A PowerPoint that is.
What's the website? endin.com, .org.
.org.
.org. Okay, that's organization, so that's a little bit more respectable than a .com, but not 100% guaranteed.
Okay, I guess here's an interesting thing. Just looking at this graph, in 2021 there was 11 people executed by death row.
Okay, does it list out the states?
Hold on.
Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. It's really kind of confusing, but I guess, okay, so death row prisoners by state. California has the most at 704.
And we don't observe the death. Can you Google the last time California has enacted the death penalty?
2006.
Yeah. And I can imagine there was probably a good chunk before that, before they got executed, that the last person was executed before that.
Yeah. The highest in a year was 1999. 98 people.
Damn.
Executed. Death penalty. Death penalty by state. Yeah, this is an interesting website, actually. I'm not going to lie. Or
The
whatever,
whole
whatever
study
it is.
of it is interesting because I remember in one of my classes we had like a whole section on the death penalty, and we had to like form groups and talk about like the death penalty and research it, and everybody had a report on a certain like state or something. I don't remember. And I just remember being intrigued by it.
It just seems like it's so little of people. Like Alabama had one.
But like, okay,
You know, like it's like these states have one person. It's like, okay, like what's the point? It's one person.
the whole purpose of the death penalty is to deter people from committing crimes, which is why it used to be public.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
shameful.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I know. That's why it
We
used
need
to
to we need to incorporate more shame.
It's also
people
why
need to feel shame. It's okay to feel shameful.
It's also why they would put people in like what are those called when they like put their hands and heads in there?
A guillotine?
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah.
why they would put people in there and like just in the public square. They would just put them in there for the day.
Roman
for whatever
Coliseum,
crime.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, Roman Coliseum was like,
Now we're out here and we're like,
yeah, you would make them do it.
now we're out here and we're like, I like me listening to all these true crime podcasts and like glorifying all these people.
Because
all the
it doesn't
time.
happen anymore.
It does though.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. The death penalty is weird, man. It just seems clunky.
It is.
I think that's the part that seems that like is just it seems like, oh, the death penalty, it's cut and dry. You go and kill a bunch of kids, you should probably die. Well, it's
Yeah.
not that cut and dry. Well, then we should probably not have it because
Exactly.
those seems like the only people that should die.
Our court system and our like all the appeals and all the other things that they can get to prevent the death penalty, all the stays of execution, all the things they can file for, it just like makes it pointless because like it's so long.
Process.
Yeah, it's so long after the crime has been committed. Everybody forgets about the crime that has been committed, and then it comes back around, and like people can still go see these people get executed. Like if you are a family member of whoever they killed, you can go watch this guy get executed. Or if you are a family member of the person, you can go watch this person get executed.
Yeah.
Like you can still do that. It's just not really public. Like it's only like technically it is public, but people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the point of this?
Yeah.
Why do we still observe it? Or why do we still observe it with the laws we have today if we still want to enact it?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it's going to take years to do it.
Yeah, it seems like something that should be pretty low on somebody's list of things to like fight for. Like when every other year when you vote somebody in for your mayor, like I feel like the death penalty just doesn't carry weight. Like, oh, this mayor believes the death penalty, like I'm going to support him or not support him. Like it just doesn't seem like it matters anymore because
I don't know, but I do feel like if I was like somebody who I was a victim of somebody who's on the death penalty and I had a loved one killed by them, like I would want, I don't know, I could potentially want them to advocate for it and be like, yeah, that's a reason for me to vote for this mayor. So that's where it's tough to be like, why should we completely eliminate this?
I don't care
Yeah.
about it because I'm not sitting there having to deal with a loved one that died in a heinous way or that was murdered or whatever, right?
Yeah. Also, both are extremely expensive. Keeping them alive and funding them and executing them. Both are extremely expensive. So,
yeah, I wonder how much a lethal injection costs.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I don't know either. Let's Google it. I want to look it up. At just under $90 for the lethal injection drug dose, the minimal cost of a meal inside the prison's execution does not sound that expensive. Okay, so it's $90, I guess. Death row costs significantly more and serves fewer prisoners. Sounds like death row costs more. The average cost for death penalty case pre-trial to execution is over $1 million.
That's gross. Thinking that like...
So someone who commits a crime that would be subject or that would qualify for death penalty, if they end up getting to the death penalty, would cost over $1 million.
Let's go. Thinking of that.
But yet we get to sit in a line for 7 hours to go into Yosemite. Thanks, tax dollars. Fuck you.
But like thinking of $1 million and that like That's what we did in sales last year. And like seeing all the sales that got completed, that's disgusting.
Yeah, how much money the government just has
Yeah.
and can always have.
Yeah.
Just by nature of them being the government. Yeah. To spend on whatever they want.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears.
Oh, yay.
A plumber found cash and checks stashed inside of Joel Osteen's Houston megachurch. $200,000 in cash and $400,000 in checks. So, Andrea, my question to you is, if you had to hide $600,000, where would you hide it?
$600,000.
$600,000. Let's say it was all cash.
Where would I hide it?
Like $600,000 is like that's a lot of
good
cash.
Chunk of money.
Like even if it's all hundreds, that's a lot of cash you gotta hide. Like if you gotta hide it where only you like, where would you hide it from me? Like if you had to hide it from me, where would you hide it?
I don't even know. Like I'm sitting here trying to run through places and like, do I want to expose myself on the podcast? What if I come across something?
Oh,
like,
shit.
I can't tell you my hiding spot, dude.
Oh damn, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Also,
Okay, you want to know a dumb like real answer? I would rent a storage unit.
would you? Yeah, that would.
I'd
seem
rent a
pretty-
storage unit and buy and get a bunch of boxes
That seems pretty straightforward.
and put in a bunch of boxes and mark it like upstairs basement and just have cash sitting in all these random boxes and maybe put some stuff with the cash so if someone came in and opened the boxes, they're not seeing loads of cash there. That's the way to do it.
You forget about the storage unit and forget to pay the bill, and then the storage unit goes into like one of those bidding shows.
Oh shit, yeah. Storage Wars?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Joel Osteen is I don't even know. I don't know enough about the guy, but the whole religion, like monetization of religion is, I mean, he's pretty much at the peak of it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just kind of gross. Like, feel how you want to feel about religion. I don't think this guy should be making the amount of money he makes off of a mega church and people coming in and donating money to him so they can have a better spot in heaven. Like, I just don't feel comfortable with that.
I remember when I went to church, I always thought the weirdest part was like, I don't know if they did this in your church, but there was like a section where they would come out with the baskets on the
Communion.
long poles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they, like, everyone would just put their cash in there, and then these baskets would just be filled with cash, and people would just be adding cash on top. And I always thought, like, as
You're
a kid,
buying your way to heaven.
yeah, as a kid, when I'm like 5, like, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, why are people just like throwing cash in baskets?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So you don't know where you would hide it. I just told you where I would hide it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know where I would hide it.
I guess if that wasn't an option, I couldn't imagine, like, I mean, this guy's got loads of money, obviously, but to have $600,000 like stored in like a wall where a plumber found it or wherever he found it,
I feel like if
that's
I,
crazy. Like that's crazy. That's a lot of money.
I feel like if I just initially found it, my first reaction would be to go and hide it somewhere at my parents' house and then figure out a place from there. Like strategize from there and find a better spot.
Yeah.
Because I know plenty of places at my parents' house nobody would look.
That's like the idea of like robbing a bank. Like, let's say you robbed a bank and you got away with it. You can't just take like $400,000 or even like $20,000 and just like go to another bank and put that $20,000 into the bank. Like, you just can't do that. Like, you're almost like you steal the money and then you like are kind of fucked because you can't really spend it in large amounts. You can't really do anything with it.
Also, like, I know this is a hypothetical question, but I feel like if it was me as a person and I found the money, I would not just take it and hide it. I would probably report it to some agency and be like...
Yeah, the plumber reported it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I know this is a hypothetical question, but it's really hard for me to think about because I know, like, morally as a person, I would report this. And I wouldn't go ahead and take it and hide it.
Yeah, I'd feel like it'd be hard for a lot of people. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for some people to look at it and not be like, oh, come on, I could take 1,000. Like, no one's going to know about 1,000. But then 1,000 be like, all right, cool, I could take like 10,000. I'll take 10,000.
Like 20,000. Like, it's only a couple bundles.
Not that I've ever held that much amount. I don't even know what $20,000. I don't even know what $10,000 feels like in cash.
No, not at all.
I don't even know what $5,000 in cash feels like, let alone 600,000 or 200,000 in cash.
I know what a $100 bill looks like.
I know what that looks like, yeah. Passenger exits Southwest Airlines plane while aircraft is taxiing to gate. So somebody was on the plane And they just yeeted themselves off the plane on the fucking runway.
That sounds like shit my grandma would do. When my grandma was like starting to go downhill, she would be like, "Oh, can you take me to Big Lots?" And I was like, "Yeah, grandma, I can take you to Big Lots." And then I would be like pulling into the parking spot, like literally like just doing the curve to get into the parking spot. And she would like
She's
fucking
already
open
out
the
of the
door
car.
and start getting out of the car. And I would have to stop it and be like, "Grandma, like the fuck?"
The incident happened Saturday morning on flight 4236 from Colorado Springs. The captain stopped the plane and notified air traffic control. The airline said in a statement Saturday afternoon, local authorities responded to the situation shortly after the flight continued to its designated gate and all remaining customers and crew, the statement read. The passenger who exited the aircraft was not identified and not clear if they will face any charges. So my question to you, Andrea, what is something that you would exit a plane to get to?
Something I would exit a plane to get to? Pizza!
What text did this person receive where they're like, I gotta get off this plane fucking now. I cannot wait.
Did it say, I wasn't paying that close attention because I had other thoughts going through my head. Did they say they like exit off like a emergency exit? Like how they get off the plane?
It doesn't. It says through a rear door while the aircraft was taxiing to the gate. So I think they landed already. This person just could not wait to get their Cinnabon or something. Like I don't fucking know what they wanted. And they just exited through the rear door, which is surprising because like I'd be terrified to open one of those doors. Like
me too. We sat in an exit row once and they were like going over how to open these doors and I was like, fuck, I hope nothing happens to us on this flight because I am like terrified to attempt to open that door. Like these instructions were too complicated.
It's like it doesn't look that hard.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't look like something you would just be able to do like real fucking quick.
Yeah.
Like although they should probably be designed to do real quick.
I feel like if I'm exiting a plane early, like what crime did I commit that I'm running from? Like,
oh yeah. Maybe he was like a fugitive.
Who found me?
I don't know.
Is this lost? For extraordinary wealth, would you be willing to have terrifying nightmares every night?
Whoa. I don't know. That sounds kind of, I don't know. That sounds fucked up.
Yeah, I've had a nightmare before. Not great. Wouldn't suggest it.
Every night? You have to have a nightmare, but you have extraordinary wealth?
Yeah, I mean, you're rich.
I feel like I'd say no. That seems too permanent. It seems too permanently like unsolvable. The fact that I don't have a nightmare every single night.
Yeah, I agree. Because I'm probably going to be waking up from that nightmare, and but I'm wealthy, so like, am I going to have to go to work in the morning?
True. And is it the same nightmare?
Yeah.
Like, could you potentially just get used to it, and then you're like, cool, this is just how it is. I just have a terrible fucking nightmare, and now I have lots of money.
I don't know. I feel like I would, I mean, that's all the question says, so I feel like I would pass it up because, like, I'm not sleeping through nightmares. I feel like I would end up wanting to kill myself.
Yeah.
And the wealth wouldn't be worth it.
Weird question. What else you got?
For $50,000, would you put to sleep a healthy pet you love?
Wow.
Ooh, that's
a hard question. Would you? 50 grand, you kill not Tuesday, Max.
I love Tuesday more than Max.
Okay, then Tuesday. I was gonna say a healthy. Tuesday's not healthy. She's fat as shit. That's a fat fucking cat.
She's only like 16 pounds, so relax. Man.
50 grand?
Tuesday?
Like that's okay. That's not life-changing money, but that's definitely a good amount of money.
That's a good chunk of money. You could buy a car with that money. I don't know. That was the first thing I could think of where it was like semi-reasonable.
I don't know. That's hard. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could put Coda down for $50,000. Like, that doesn't sound like enough.
I don't think I could do that because Tuesday, like, got me through a lot of hard times in my life.
Yeah.
And, like, I have a bond with her. And I don't think I could do it. So the follow-up question to it is, if you say no, how much would be enough to put the pet down? And I don't know.
Yeah, what's the threshold to where you start going, maybe $200,000?
I don't know.
200,000?
Yeah.
300,000
Could you imagine just having
Like,
$300,000 to put your pet down?
to put your pet down.
You could buy so many other pets with that.
You could have so much
But
more
you'll never
love.
love them the same.
I guess just cashing in your healthy pet for a fucking check sounds fucked up, but $300,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. I'll say 500.
You say 500?
500. That
sounds good.
That's like my low. That's my low ball. That's my low ball offer. And I guess the only scenario where I can picture this being real is like, let's say your dog had some, or like, let's say, yeah, my dog has some like cool genetic thing and some scientists want to know about it, but it has to be dead.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to buy your dog for $500,000, but it has to be dead. Like,
can I like pay a taxidermy?
I think
for...
I just get super fucking drunk and I sign the paper and then that's it.
That's it. You can get a taxidermy.
$500,000. I feel like that'd be hard to bounce back from though. Like that would be really hard to wake up the next day and be like, "Fuck, my dog is dead. I have $500,000." That's like pure greed at its fucking core. But
yeah, I just remember when Bootstrap died, which was our Palm, and that was devastating.
Yeah,
like that
you didn't
was
get anything
hard.
for that. Imagine if you got something for it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to go to a slaughterhouse and kill a cow? No, I would not slaughter a cow.
No, for nothing. I mean, be willing
for
to?
shits and gigs?
No, I don't want to do that.
While arguing with you on the phone, a close friend gets angry and hangs up. If he or she does not call back, would you call them? If so, how long would you wait? What kind of question is that?
That's a weird question. How long would I wait?
I feel like I would just call him back right away. Well, it depends. So if I was arguing with you on the phone and you just hung up on me, I'm going to give you the silent treatment.
Yeah, I know that. I was going to say, don't say you'll call me back because I know you won't call me back.
Rude.
We don't even argue.
Yeah, and Emma argue. We're so perfect.
No, we just don't fucking argue.
As we're arguing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, if Sam was to argue with you on the phone and he hung up on you, how long would you wait to call him back? Or would you even call him back?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No.
You just wait for it to blow over?
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty much. We're men.
We're men.
We don't deal with our feelings.
Would you rather die peacefully among friends at age 50 or painfully alone at age 80?
Oh, God, dude. Stop with this fucking nonsense.
I've always wanted to die young, so 50 works for me.
Shut up. You're so depressing. Fuck. I don't want to answer that. Next question.
This one's like a whole paragraph. I can't read that. It's probably a good question, but whew, it's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading, too.
You're probably just making these up anyway. You don't even know how to read.
Yeah, I don't. How'd you know? I'm just reading this question without reading it beforehand, so I don't know if it's a good or bad question.
Okay.
If a technology breakthrough could enable people to travel as quickly and cheaply across the world as they now do between adjacent cities, but the price of 500,000 deaths a year, would you want the technology to be developed? What the fuck?
Wait.
So basically, if there was like a technological breakthrough and you can travel like super quick and super cheap, but every year 500,000 people are going to die due to this new breakthrough, would you want that breakthrough to be a thing, or would you just let things stay as how they are?
I'm gonna let things stay.
Me too. Like
500,000. Like, who comes up with these fucking questions?
I don't know. If you knew you were never destined to achieve anything of real importance, how would that change your goals and attitudes in life?
Wow. If you somehow were told that, yeah, look, I know you're doing a lot of stuff right now. It's not gonna amount to anything. So like, just change the course. I don't fucking know.
Change the course because like literally nothing's gonna become of
or just
you,
keep doing the course
fucking...
because you're clearly enjoying yourself and you think you have a fucking pipe dream. How would that change? I don't know. It's a stupid question. I don't know how to change because I thought what I was doing was right. So I guess I'm fucked either way.
I feel like I would become so depressed if somebody told me that. They were like, hey, so like your existence is basically irrelevant. Deal with it. I'd be like, okay, depression.
Yeah, that's like the old, like, would you want to know the day you die?
Yeah. That's stupid. The follow-up question is, how often do you step back and reflect on where you're headed in life?
Every day I wake up after I realize my back and my neck hurt for the 500th day in a row.
I think we answered this question.
We don't have any snacks here, do we?
No.
Every time we drink, I just get the munchies, and we don't have any fucking snacks.
I know. All we have is like chips and hummus or carrots and hummus.
What's
or
your
like,
favorite snack? Like,
okay.
like right
okay.
now, like imagine we're like super drunk or we're super stoned, and like, what's your bet? What's your favorite?
It's gonna be very probably like not that popular and very bland because of all the snack options we have. But pretzels, I can go ham on some pretzels. Like,
pretzels.
I love pretzels.
Pretzels and cream cheese.
No cream cheese, just
Yeah,
pretzels.
I like cream cheese.
Ooh, pretzels and frosting. When my mom would make like cupcakes for our birthdays.
You're talking like the frosting that comes in like a already made container and you just dip it in there.
Yeah, my mom would make like cupcakes for our birthdays, and then I would take the pretzels and just dip in there and eat it.
Do they make organic pretzels? They have to.
Probably.
But I only want like rolled gold. I feel like...
Did you like the soft pretzels?
Yeah.
Those were bomb.
But it was always hard for me to be like, ooh, do I want to dip it in cheese or do I want a cinnamon sugar one? That was always tough because I loved both of them. Like, what's better?
Mine was hands down cheese. I never did cinnamon sugar.
Really?
I just ate cheese. Yeah, I loved the fake nacho cheese. Like that bright
and you get like
yellow.
a big chunk of salt.
Oh, so good.
God damn, that sounds so good right now.
Let me go up to the mall and go to like
Dude, we could go to
Auntie
Taco Bell. Oh,
their cheesy potato.
Dude,
we were just talking about
the Taco Bell
night.
commercials lately have been speaking to me.
Yeah, I think we should go to Taco Bell. I told you, I looked up.
None of us, we can't drive to Taco. We can DoorDash Taco Bell. We haven't had
Dude,
Taco.
is there even a Taco Bell close to
I don't
us?
even, there's a Wiener Schnitzel.
Dude,
we probably got
they're
some
high.
coupons downstairs,
We do.
like sitting in our fucking mail.
10 for 10 corn dogs.
Yeah, come on down to Wiener Schnitzel, get 40 dogs for $10.
Dude, speaking of fast food, what's your favorite fast food restaurant?
Not recency bias. I think it's Taco Bell.
Me too.
I honestly think Taco Bell's the best.
I know.
But
An apple empanada?
I oddly really liked Arby's.
Oh, my dad loved Arby's.
They had, I'm pretty sure it was Arby's, they had like a potato triangle.
I don't remember.
It was like like the hash browns at McDonald's?
Yeah. Oh,
they were
those
like
are
that,
good.
but they were thicker. And it was like in the shape of a triangle. So they were better.
I don't ever really remember liking McDonald's. All I remember is about
Eating a shit ton of it.
Well, yeah. But all I remember about McDonald's is like when we were like a little bit older, like old enough to have a memory, they were like, try our new white meat chicken nuggets. And I was always like, what was the meat that we were eating before? Like, I just never understood that.
Yeah. Favorite fast food. There's just a lot.
Like, I was never a Wendy's gal.
No, I could tolerate Wendy's, but I think as far as consistency and as far as eat any time of the day, Taco Bell's pretty clutch.
Yeah. I had like three go-tos.
I think I ate more McDonald's than I ate Taco Bell though, but I like Taco Bell. Actually, I don't know because every time I don't think I really ever bought McDonald's for myself unless I was with somebody else that wanted McDonald's. But if it was up to me, it was always like, oh, let's go to Taco Bell. Or I like Carl's Jr. too.
I was just going to say that. So Carl's Jr. was the one that was teamed with Green Burrito, right?
Yep.
So yeah. I really liked my burritos and my refried beans.
And the Carl's Jr. fish sandwich was pretty good too. Way better than a fillet of fish. Way better than a fillet of fish.
I remember I liked the I think it was like the Big Star or something. It was just like their plain hamburger with pickles only. That's what I would eat. Sounds gross now.
Yeah, I ate a lot of Jack in the Box too. Fallon really liked Jack in the Box. We would go there and they used to have these like teriyaki bowls and I'd get a bowl or a Jack Spicy Chicken. I used to live on Jack Spicy Chicken. And then they came out with, their curly fries. Oh, Arby's curly fries. Oh, Arby's curly fries are fucking bomb.
I just remember my favorite, I made my dad go here all the time, was I was obsessed with California Burger fried zucchini. And then I think it was Carl's Jr. came out with their own fried zucchini after, but it wasn't as good. But California Burger fried zucchini, 10 out of 10.
You know, Jack in the Box is pretty good too, though. Like, Jack in the Box had the jalapeno poppers. Did you ever have those?
Yeah, I remember those being good. Which one had the, like, popcorn chicken? Who had that? That was good.
KFC.
KFC.
I think it was KFC, popcorn chicken.
Maybe. I liked popcorn chicken. I remember liking that a lot.
KFC used to have the little KFC snackers. Do you remember those? Mm-hmm. They were like this big, and they were like little hoagie rolls with like a chicken strip with like a little bit of mayonnaise and lettuce, and they were like $1.
Damn.
Or it was like two. It was like $2 for $3, and I would ride my bike down there. And I get
your fat ass riding your bike to go get fast food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All I remember is Jack in the Box mystery meat tacos. Those were like the bomb.
Oh my God, dude.
And I was
Sam, you're speaking to Sam right now, dude. That dude has eaten so many fucking Jack in the Box tacos. Like, he would come over to my house.
Because you could get like 10 for like $150.
Yeah. There was a period where like he just like didn't work. Mm-hmm. So, like, all he could afford, like, by himself was just, like, Jack in the Box tacos anytime we went out. But he only, like, really got them when he was over at my house. So he would always just go ham, and he'd get, like, 4 of them. But he would never finish them all. And he doesn't, like, no lettuce. He doesn't like lettuce on them.
I don't even remember them having
So
lettuce.
he would get them, and they look disgusting. Because, like, if you don't get lettuce on them, it's just, like, this pressed fucking
like
thing,
gray.
and you just see like the meat popping through like this. It almost looked like, you know, when you saran wrap something, it just looked like they saran wrapped this tortilla around this dog food meat with cheese.
I just remember everyone would always shit at me for eating them because I was always sober and I liked them and I would just eat them willingly.
They're good.
They're good.
They're really good.
Oh, all I remember is one Christmas Eve, my mom was like, I want a milkshake. Do you kids want a milkshake? And of course, all 4 of us are like, yeah, Mom, we want a milkshake. So she took us to Carl's Jr. No, Jack in the Box, sorry. She took us to Jack in the Box to go get a milkshake. And they were like, we have no milkshakes. We can't give you any milkshakes. And I was so depressed. I just remember being so depressed. And I remember my mom being like, I skipped midnight mass to get this milkshake. Like, all right, Mom.
Oh man, yeah, I really like Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is probably my favorite. Taco Bell is my favorite.
I think so.
Yeah,
Taco Bell is great. They change their menu, I think, more than other places too. But it's always like different stuff, just like of the same thing though. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of nice because you feel like you're getting something different. Where like McDonald's, like, they don't change their menu that often, I guess. Or I don't remember them changing their menu that often. But, like, every time you went into Taco Bell, there was always, like, some new burrito. Or there was always some new thing. When really it was the same shit that was just, like, mixed around and just had a different name. But it was like, oh, maybe I'll get the new one. Okay. My mom always used to get the grilled stuffed burritos. And I love grilled stuffed burritos, dude. They were so good.
Okay, so you're a guy that goes in, you want to try something new, and you're not always getting the same thing. Because I'm the person who, like, rotates the same 3 things.
I mean, for the most part, I would rotate the same 3 things. But sometimes I would go in there and I would try, like, the new box or the new thing. Like, remember when they came out with the Doritos Locos Tacos? Mm-hmm. And it was like, they have a Dorito as the shell? Like, how the fuck did they do that? This is so sick. And then they came out with the chicken shell. Oh, I never tried that, but that looked...
They had a chicken shell?
Yeah, it was made of chicken.
That sounds disgusting.
It was made of chicken.
I know, I heard that. I heard you. That sounds disgusting.
A U-shaped chicken. I wonder what that chicken looked like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was them that had it.
Okay, top 3 items from Taco Bell, go.
Beefy 5-layer burrito, chicken quesadilla, and a grilled stuffed burrito.
Mine are pretty boring. I would have a bean burrito.
Or a potato soft taco. I love the potato soft tacos. They were only like $1.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Because I was going to put the Fiesta potatoes on there, which were so good. Yeah. And then the quesadilla, I loved their quesadilla sauce. Babe, I want to go get Taco Bell
we
now.
should just be fat fucks one day and just go to Taco Bell.
You know how much that would, like, ruin my stomach?
We would be shitting for like a week straight.
It's like, hello, diarrhea.
Yeah.
I also remember really liking the Whopper from Burger King. Okay, so wait,
you asked me my top 3 favorite things from Taco Bell.
I did, but I said Burger King, and I was about to explain it. So where I lived, it was Taco Bell, and in the same exact parking lot, just literally right next door.
That's what Citrus Heights, right?
Yeah, was Burger King. And so sometimes my siblings and I would disagree on what to get, so my mom would go to both. So we got to pick. And so I also remember going there all the time and getting the Whopper. I loved the Whopper.
Rarely went to Burger King. Only time I went to Burger King was when I was with my grandparents in Oregon. My grandpa liked Burger King. Was never a Burger King person. Yeah, I had it. I did not have it. But like it was not on the top of the list for me really ever.
So Burger King, I definitely remember going there all the time and loving Burger King, but like I can't remember what I ordered there. Like their products were just so generic that
it seems like it was like, how many different versions of a burger can you have?
Yeah.
Where like Carl's Jr. didn't feel like that. Carl's Jr. felt like they had other stuff there when really Burger King felt like they got a bunch of different burgers and then like a chicken sandwich that's long and that's it.
Yeah.
They had the long chicken sandwich, which I got most of the time.
Okay, I have a question for you. Very important California question. In-N-Out Burger, what's your take?
I like In-N-Out.
Yeah, I thought it was good, but I was never a huge fan. What about their fries?
I like their fries.
I thought they were disgusting.
Oh.
So bland and soggy or hard. It was either soggy or hard.
Oh, no, I liked them. I love In-N-Out.
You love In-N-Out now.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just hungry, but I really like In-N-Out. I went through a phase there where I was eating In-N-Out like decently. Because it was right after the gym, and I would get
I feel like I remember that.
I would get it after the gym.
Like I remember going to In-N-Out with you.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely a phase.
I feel like I have a really bad take on fast food restaurants because I stopped eating meat at age 15 and pretty much stopped eating at fast food restaurants at age 16 because there was no options to eat.
True. Yeah.
So
there was, oh my God, I love this place. It's called Taco Del Mar. And there was one in Washington. And then they opened a random one in Lincoln, California. And I would ride my bike there. And I loved it. It was like I don't want to say it's like Chipotle, but it was like a build your own burrito place, but it was better than Chipotle. It was so much better than Chipotle. Like it was not as cookie cutter. It wasn't as bland of stuff. I like Chipotle, but it was better than Chipotle. And they shut down, but I would ride my bike there all the time. I love Taco Del Mar. I don't even know if it's a thing anymore, if Taco Del Mar is a thing anymore, but I really like Taco Del Mar a lot.
I actually was never really a huge fan of Chipotle. If people were buying it for me, I would obviously get it and eat it because it tasted fine. But I have literally never gone there myself, alone, and bought it for myself. I've just never been a fan of it. It tastes fine. It's fine. That's it.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's hard for me to have a food take because I'm just so...
You love food.
I just love food. I just eat...
You mix flavors.
Anything.
I'm picky.
Chipotle is awesome because they just put it all in a bowl and then you just fucking eat it. It's not separate.
That's your favorite style.
That's my favorite. That's literally how I eat everything at the house. You make this nice meal, you put the veggie separate and the rice separate and then the protein separate and then the sauce separate and then you separate the things and I just fucking put a bunch of sauce on top of it and mix it up in the bowl and then I just eat it. I don't have a sophisticated palate enough to appreciate it like that.
I only do because I'm picky.
Yeah. That's what it was hard in Rome because we'd get these meals that were they're smaller portions because you're not in America, which I can appreciate, right? But we'd sit down and by the time we get the food, we'd be fucking starving and I'm this is so hard for me not to just fucking scarf this down because I'm starving and I'm trying to enjoy it. So that's hard. But I can enjoy food. I can, obviously. I enjoy good food, but I guess being oh no, Taco Bell is 10 times better than Wendy's. It's I guess if I was in a pinch, I could eat my face off at Wendy's or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I love Chick-fil-A.
I've never had Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is good.
Dude, what about Addie's? Adalberto's.
Oh, Adalberto's. Yeah, get a number 24. Hell yeah. I used to go there all the time. That was my shit. You've been to me to Addie's.
Yeah. I used to get the bean and rice burrito, and then the beans started making me sick. So sad. It was so good, though.
I would get a number 24 if I ate meat right now. Fuck, that sounds so good.
What's on number 24?
It's bacon, eggs, cheese,
shit,
beans.
Beans, what the fuck?
And I think that's it. But it's a breakfast burrito. And there's like green sauce that, oh man. Okay. Oh, it's the best, dude. It's so fucking good. I can taste it right now. I would eat one probably like twice a week. Like, not even joking, because they're like $6. They're like $7.
And they're giant.
For this gigantic burrito. Yeah. Can't beat it.
You love breakfast food. Yeah,
breakfast food's really good.
I think breakfast food is your favorite.
Yeah, what's weird is breakfast food is so simple and cheap, but breakfast restaurants are so expensive.
Remember when I made the waffles because you got me a waffle maker for my birthday, and we were talking about how expensive waffles are and how we're just sitting here making it at the house for like literally nothing, and it's basically the same thing.
It's the same shit. Or like you go to Four Sisters. Four Sisters is really good though. I guess okay, take that out because what did we get there? We get their omelets.
I always get their eggs Benedict, but that's the only time I get eggs Benedict.
I'd get their omelets, and they'd have like little hash browns, like the potatoes and stuff.
Their potatoes were bomb.
Like, that's really good. But if you're going to like a place and you're ordering like a waffle, and it's like $9 for a waffle and a cup of coffee, it's like, dude, it costs them like $1. It costs them probably around $1 to make that waffle. Yeah. And you're paying $9.
Remember when I figured out how to make omelets for you? Like, it's pointless to go and they're also like, the omelets are always like hella greasy at the places.
Hella greasy, and like too much cheese or too much sauce. Like, again, not that I'm just being fucking picky, but yeah, I love breakfast food. I think just because I'd eat breakfast food all the time, mostly cereal, but
I love cereal. I had granola today.
Yeah, I just don't even know the last time I pigged out on like a shitty cereal. Dude. Like, it's been years since I had like a mini wheats or a Cocoa Pebbles or a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's been so long.
I can't tell you how bad I have been craving frosted mini wheats, and like kind of want to go to the store and buy some, but also don't want to look at the ingredients, just want to like blindly eat them because those are my favorite cereal.
I think the problem is like I can't just have one bowl. Like, I gotta have the whole box. I gotta have the whole bag.
We have to share with me.
We get 2 boxes.
No. Because then you would eat a box and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the problem. Even like the healthy cereal downstairs, like the granola and stuff, I actually really like that. I just for some reason don't eat it. I think because like it doesn't have any nutritional value at all.
That's
it's like
what I was just gonna say.
It's just sugar. Yeah. Like it would just be a pure like I need to carb up for no reason and sugar play.
Good carb day.
Yeah, really good carb day. But yeah, cereal's my shit. I love cereal. I eat fucking everything. I don't know where that came from. Just fucking eat everything.
Yeah.
But yet I don't eat meat, and I don't eat like okay, I eat unhealthy food. I don't because it's unhealthy.
Try not to.
It's unhealthy, but I love it. Yeah. Like, it's not a taste thing. It's strictly I like to punish myself and think that I'm going to live to be 105 some way.
You won't. I don't know. I told you this yesterday, I sometimes like reflect back on all the shitty food I ate like growing up. And I'm like, I wish I could just go and like eat a Hot Pocket and like just to see if it tastes as good as I remember it tastes, or like cup of noodles or dry top ramen. Like, do they taste that good?
I don't think it would. I think because you could probably recall the taste right now sitting here.
Yeah,
like, I can recall. I can go pepperoni Hot Pocket. Yeah. I like know what that tastes like, or like a can of Pepsi or a can of Coke. Yeah.
Fun fact: I actually thought the like cheddar and ham Hot Pockets were disgusting.
Oh, they're so gross.
But you had to get them in the mix pack at Sam's Club. And so we'd always get the mix pack, so I'd always suffer my way through eating the other ones.
Dude, the ham and cheese ones were gross. And I don't even know know why. Like, what was gross about it? Was it the ham?
I think it was the cheese.
Or was it the thing? It's like, was it the ham or was it the cheese that was gross? Yeah. Yeah, the ham and cheese ones were nasty.
They were so nasty.
They were hella nasty.
But the taquitos, flour tortilla.
Not the corn.
Not the corn. The
Sometimes
corn
my
were
mom
gross too.
Yeah, sometimes my mom would get the corn and be like, this just isn't good. I want the flour ones. They're way better.
I know this is shocking for me because I stopped eating meat at 15. But with the corn ones, my brother Steven and I did not like the corn tortillas. And if it didn't get soft enough, we would literally just cut the corn tortillas open and eat the beef. Eat the beef, whatever the beef was.
Beef. Big beef guy.
Yeah,
big
beef guy over here.
Fucking beefers.
That beef was also gross. It was like this weird brown color, and when we would get it out, and we would always put it on a napkin. We never had plates apparently, and it would always leave a brown stain on the napkin.
It's fine. It's just in my body.
It's just fine. Good. No NBD. We also ate straight lemonade powder and Tang powder, so we just ate it out with a spoon. So can't really judge that.
Dude, that was those long sugar sticks. What the fuck were those?
The long pixie sticks, the straw ones.
Looked like a
why did we
long
just
as a
eat
narwhal
that?
horn?
What about fun? What was that fun dip? When you had a sugar stick and you just dipped it into colored sugar.
It's disgusting.
What was that? Why did we eat that?
No, I don't know. Why did our parents buy that for us? Or ring pops, baby bottle pops. What the fuck was a baby bottle pop? It was just a little bottle of sugar.
Yeah,
and you would just drink the sugar.
You would lick the bottle pop because it was a lollipop.
I don't think I ever had one. I was weirded out by them.
So it was shaped like a little baby bottle, and then it would have the top part, the little nipple part of the baby bottle would be a lollipop. So you would lick the lollipop and dip it into the sugar, which was the bottom part of it. So you had to unscrew the cap, dip it into the sugar, and then just keep licking it, I guess.
Remember Fruit Roll-Ups? Remember when they came out with Fruit Roll-Ups where they were split? And you could no?
I just ate them. I didn't never pay attention to the styles.
Okay, yes, I agree. Because they had the original ones, right? And you could get them and you go, and you flip it out. Those are super fun.
Wasn't that Fruit by the Foot?
Aren't they the same thing?
No.
Dude, this is the Top Ramen and Cup of Noodle thing. I thought they were the same brand, and they're fucking not.
Fruit by the Foot
Fruit by the Foot.
One that you can do that with. Fruit Roll-Ups are
the ones, sometimes they have
longer,
stamps.
They're
Remember
a long
tongue stamps?
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny. I combine them as the same thing, but they're not. That's so funny. Okay, so I'm thinking of Fruit by the Foot. Fruit by the Foot, did you ever have them where they finally, so they made it and you could peel it like this and it would string out, but it would still have some left. They just basically cut it into thirds.
I don't know. I just ate it. So I probably had that one, but I just ate it.
Fruit by the Foot? Yeah.
Because with string cheese too, did you peel your string cheese or did you just eat it? Because I just ate it. I just was weird. A savage and I just went in and ate it like a block of cheese.
But I do remember it having a tiny brain thought, when I string it out, is there more? It can't be more, but it feels like more. How does that work? Am I eating the same amount? When you get the Fruit by the Foot and you could split it into threes, you'd be like, dude, I got 3 times as much. Basically the same thing, but it's not. It's the same amount. They're just split into threes.
Going back to the Fruit Roll-Ups, I remember I used to get Fruit Roll-Ups and Gushers and Sour Patch Kids, and I would wrap the Fruit Roll-Ups in the Gushers and the Sour Patch Kids in the Fruit Roll-Ups, and then I would eat them like a sandwich.
You fat fuck.
I'm not even fat fuck. I just love sugar. I still do.
Oh my god, that was I'll never forget. I've told this story on the podcast before. I poured my bowl of mini wheats, and all we had was half and half. So I poured the whole bowl of half. Half and half is thick as fuck, and I was not pouring these pussy ass bowls of cereal. I meant business, and I already had it poured. And I was like, Mom, what's half and half? She's like, oh, it's half milk and half cream. Okay, so I poured this entire thing of half and half into my gigantic mixing bowl with mini wheats in it and fucking ate it. It tasted good, just sugar.
Probably did.
Oh my god, dude.
Nothing was worse than the time my brothers dared me to drink buttermilk.
Ugh.
That was disgusting.
Do you remember spray butter?
What is that? I think that's still a thing.
It's just spray butter.
Store.
It's great. It's
I
awesome.
never used it.
We should get some spray butter, dude. I used to spray that on my Eggos, and then I would have I would make little sandwiches with my Eggos. My mom would make me sandwich Eggos. They were bomb because you'd spray the butter on there and then put jelly on it. And then...
I just remember, speaking of jelly, I remember I used to eat just jelly sandwiches and people would make fun of me in school.
I remember I was allergic to... well, I thought I was allergic to peanut butter because my dad's like deathly allergic to peanut butter. So I didn't eat peanut butter for a long time. So my mom would make me butter and jelly sandwiches.
Ooh, I just got jelly because I hated peanut butter, so I just got jelly. At least you got some butter in there.
Some butter on there.
We couldn't afford it.
And it took me a long time to figure out that peanut butter was one thing, and you didn't put peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich. I remember when I first started eating peanut butter, I was like, oh, it's just peanut butter. It's not peanut and butter and jelly. Peanut butter is one thing.
Interesting, because you had the butter and jelly sandwiches.
The butter and jelly sandwiches, so it always threw me off. That's all I knew. The first time I had something with peanut butter in it, I had a Reese's cup at my friend Robert Beta's house. He was my middle school friend, and we also went to high school together.
You love dropping first and last.
Yeah, dude. Robert Beta was a cool dude. I liked him a lot. He was Boy Scout. He knew a lot. He was a smart guy. But we were hanging out, and he was like, just try one. I think it was like, I don't know, it was like a few weeks after Halloween or something like that. And I was like, well, fuck it. The worst thing that's going to happen is like, I'm going to call my mom and I feel weird, but I'm like, I don't know. I've never had one. I tried one and I was like, I remember like exactly where I was, of course. Like I was in his living room, like sitting on the edge of his ottoman and he was sitting on like another chair over there. Like I remember where I was and I ate. I was like, holy shit, this thing's fucking amazing. And I had another one and then we were out because it was just a 2-cup. It was a 2-cup. We still have the Easter Reese's
you still
bunnies.
Have the Easter Reese's bunnies that Nana gave us.
Oh, I gotta eat one of those.
I remember my favorite meal as a kid growing up was Kraft macaroni and cheese, and then I discovered Kraft macaroni and cheese with pickles in it. Don't know whatever made me want to put pickles in it, but something made me want to put pickles in it.
That's good though.
I love pickles.
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite thing to eat. I remember one time, like I specifically remember, like I was pretty young, calling my mom and asking her how to make Kraft macaroni and cheese, and her being like, okay, get like a huge slab of butter, and being like 7, operating a stove when I'm not supposed to, like using half a stick of butter.
You know, so the other day we were talking about ramen, and we just talked about
top
it, obviously.
Ramen.
Yeah, top ramen. I like never cooked it on the stove. I don't think
I rarely did.
I legitimately cannot remember a single time where I boiled water, put it in there, stirred it, put the powder in, drained it, stirred it, and then ate it. Almost never. I'm not like, it was always, I ate it dry. I always ate it dry.
Actually, like reflecting back on it, I think me too. Like, I think my mom would make it for me, but I don't think I ever personally made it.
No.
Like, I think I always just ate it dry.
Not even when I was like of age to like be cooking stuff. It was always like, if I can't cook it in the microwave, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm eating it raw. I'm raw dogging it.
Same.
Yeah.
Eating habits as children, like, we sound terrible. We literally sound like we're like, well, how are we alive?
I don't know.
I ate so many
How did our
meals.
immune systems like cope with that? The amount of just
shit,
soda and shit.
I didn't drink soda.
Oh, I love soda. Actually, okay, I didn't love soda like those people, like those kids that like always had soda. You know, there was always those kids you grew up with that like were always drinking soda. Sam. I wasn't like that. We never like had a bunch of soda in the house, but I definitely liked soda.
Yeah, I didn't like the carbonation, so the only soda I would drink because I liked its flavor was root beer, and I would open it and let it sit out for the day, and then I would drink it like hot and flat.
Sounds so nasty.
And I remember my siblings would always get mad at me and try to throw it away, and I would yell at them, and it would be like a whole fight, especially when it was like the holidays at my grandma's house. Everyone would always be like, whose soda is this? We're gonna throw it away. And then they'd be like, it's still full. And I'd be like, it's mine. It was always the whole thing.
Alright, I think we should end that on flat root beer. Because it's like 10 o'clock or something. It's probably way after 10 now.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Alright, bye-bye.